Just got a honk of support for the kafaya. Anyhow, so today is June 30. It's the 12th anniversary of the June 30 protests in Cairo. And these were a really important turning point for me in my life, right? Because up until then, I had just been what I would call, one more lefty, a generic lefty. I don't think I had anything really original to say. Maybe around the edges maybe, but essentially I was sort of, repeating the talking points of everybody else on the left. And this was the first time that I felt like I was outside that intellectual and political community. Because my opinion was that the Muslim Brotherhood, who were in power, they had just won all the elections. There'd been a revolution, the dictator fell, they held a bunch of elections, the Muslim Brotherhood won them all, cleaned up. And they'd won the parliament, and they'd won the presidency, and they wanted to govern the country. And this was presented as, an illegitimate power grab by their opponents. And that included their secular opponents who were, secular revolutionaries who claimed that they didn't want military rule. But it's clear that it was clear to me at the time that if you removed the people who won the elections, you would get military rule and that would be the end of it. And I was right and they were all wrong, but it's this thing where, being right didn't matter. And it doesn't matter because of the sort of information ecosystem we live in. So that's when I got started on my whole obsession with fake news and building trust. And that's the backstory of the Stone Transparency System, which is kind of my main mission in life. But I just wanted to talk about it because, we're in this situation where Hamas, for example, their resistance is delegitimized. They're not allowed to fight back, right? And part of that is because they're Islamists. In fact, what they are is the Palestinian offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood, right? Because the Muslim Brotherhood is the national liberation movement of the Arab world. And the enemies of the Muslim Brotherhood are the enemies of liberation. So we've got people, like I mentioned before, Sharif Qaddous, etc., etc. They're all still out there. There's been no correction. There's been no revision. There's been no attempt to learn from our mistakes. And so that makes it incumbent on people like me to keep reminding them, keep speaking up for the truth.